yeah, the Willie Deckle Custom Edition. But before we get into that, we're doing something completely revolutionary in two ways. Not only with this bucktail, but at the end, I believe it's 2151. If you don't have 20 minutes to chill with me and make a lure, you can skip to there, 2151, and you can get bucking in 1 minute. It's rated R though. I'm going to save you time. I'm going to fill your ears with vulgar language. But on to the lure. Without further ado, we got the rainbow blade with the dimples, because it definitely attracts and flashes and reflects the light the best. We got a couple weights. We've marked the line on that jointed spot for later. Reminder. Alright. So we're going to get going on this baby bird. So I've tried something new. I've never done this before, so I figured, I was thinking about it for a while. So I've tied around a little bunch of feathers to keep them together, and then just put a little bit of glue on a string. Now here's a different set. So we got our two different colors. We're going to add a little bit of that smalt in there. Flash it up nice. Get that tail popping. So, I do believe that I'm going to do quite a different collections, I'll call them. Think of maybe like an insect collection. We had the bug collection, the bird collection, and we're starting right here, Willie's edition number 1. Maybe even pop onto the rodent. So, nothing out of the ordinary here. You just attached the two, which went on really nicely since I bundled them up together before putting them on. Kind of did bulk it a tiny bit more than it normally would have, but I'm still stoked on it. It kept it thin and proper. It definitely has a little bit of force, so when it pulls through the water, it'll kind of stay fluffed out a bit, and these brown ones will just lie right in there nice and flat. Still get that flat tail look in there. Keep it going with the style of the bird tail. Take a closer look in there. You can figure 8 pattern it around there, or just go around and right in the middle. I usually just go around in the middle. I don't figure 8 anything. A little bit of glue popped in there. Keep it all nice and tight. Tight, tight, tight. Yeah. Not too bad. So, we'll move on. Get that smalt in there. So we just bucked that shit out with the smalt. Got everything hanging out the other end, so you can see how much access I got on the other side, just to make sure. Sometimes if you don't have enough on the other end, then when you pull things tight, it kind of slips out. So it's good to have a little bit of extra. I usually hold that in my hand while I'm wrapping. But these brown feathers, they don't have very much resistance, as opposed to the greens and yellows, which have a lot of resistance. So hopefully it'll give more of a paddle effect as it pulls through the water. So we'll just make sure we go in and trim this all nice and tight. How we trim that will definitely make it easier or harder when we do the final wrap on the tip there. So that's always key, to get that proper. Chill. So we trimmed it up nice. Not too bad. Sometimes I like to just also trim it in a cone shape. Sometimes I even cut off some of the thread that I have applied just to get that cone shape, to make everything go easier. Really makes a difference in the end. So, little river baits. Yeah. So many questions, homie. Let's get these poppin'. Glue performance and preference don't matter to me, as long as it's super and it holds permanently. I put them in the ends when I trim them all up. Put a lot of glue in there then, just to make sure all the strands hold, and then I wrap this thread around as it's wet, so I don't really have to wait for it to dry, and you get a nice clean seal, and the thread is bonded to it. Make sure you get all the strands in the tail bonded to the wrap and to the hook. I find in my very first attempts back in the day, feathers would slowly fall out because they weren't fully attached right down to the hook. So we'll just take a look at this. Make sure everything's going proper and looking all right. Get a good idea of the length that we're looking at here, how it's all going to pan out. Make sure we keep things in motion. And the other question he had was, have I ever tied jigs? Yes, I have. They were all right, I guess. I wasn't really the happiest with them. I made a video. I didn't show how I made them, which I thought was self-explanatory. They were pretty simple, I guess. But I'm definitely going back to that when I do my rodent collection. We're going to be jigging up some weird-ass rodents. Yeah! But he also asked, do I ever use a whippet knot to finish? And that would be a no. I don't know why I haven't. Usually I don't use any type of knot, and I just hold it down and put a tiny little swab of glue that I hold on the end of a safety pin, and then I just cut it. Once I use the seal or cement, then that's when I get that good last hold there for the bond. But we'll go in and pop on some of the first layer of the body here. Again, I've gone in and attached all these feathers into their little sequences. These will be the feet, little orange feet, to kind of dangle along the body. But I think this new style is going to work out nice. Might give a little bit stronger defined look in the water, since things will stay a little bit closer together as it pulls. So we got our tail bucked out. Got this first layer of body. Now I had 8 sets of these little feathers that I prearranged to all look somewhat of the similar pattern. So the back end of the body, I guess you'd call it, I did 4. So it was perfectly spaced out, and they stick out quite a bit. But I trimmed a lot of them back. As you can see, a lot of them aren't the ends of the feathers. They are more to the mids. So the stalks are a little bit more sturdy to give it that more bucked out look when you pull through the water. If you use the ends, the stalk in the center is just, it's so thin that it just ends up lying down flat anyway. So we'll go on and attach those feet. And then after the feet, because the feet will go in between the two body layers, and we'll attach the second body layer. So I wasn't going to show the feet, but then I ended up seeing something that I thought maybe was helpful, because I didn't really think about it at first, but it was kind of all coming together in the end anyways, without me even realizing. But we've got a lot of air gaps popping up in here, which none of my other lures ever had. As you can see, those feet dangle nicely down there. They're dangling it. So we got all these gaps in here. We got gaps in between the 4 pieces of the back body because of the way that I was wrapping them. And then we got the gaps in between the legs here. I'll turn it so you can get a better look at this. So we got some air gaps in here. So the air, or water, sorry, can actually flow up in there and really let the feathers, I guess, hopefully do their thing, as opposed to more sucking them down as they get pulled through the water. We'll see what's up. I've also made one of these for myself, so me and Willie can fish the baby birds together. Shit. Alright, so we popping that second layer on like a G, yo. Now this is a real mess up here. Things got completely out of hand. So we're definitely going to have to go in and do a good trim job on that. But you got to be careful when you are trimming, that you ain't moving none of the feathers around that you haven't glued down yet. Since I only add some glue into the portion of the string to hold it in place. I usually have to do it with good care to make sure that I'm not pushing and moving around and pulling out the feathers as I trim up these ends. But she's looking alright. Got a good body kicking. The tail's looking good. Got the two little feet. Wasn't sure how I was going to do the feet, or, you know what I mean, project the image of feet. But I hope that'll do all right, because the feet will be on one side, which will be orange, and the wings will be up on the other side. So hopefully, you know, it will kind of balance itself out. So for the neck, since we have such a thin piece of steel, we are going to wrap this piece of foam around to give us a little bit of extra workage. So I just cut it down the center, all sloppy. Just push that all around and push it down. Biggity bam. So tighten that down, hold that in place nice and tight, so that when I am wrapping around, it doesn't spin around. And we will go in, and I've arranged these feathers again all together for 2 wings to hang out each end. That will kind of overlay over the entire body, kind of stick out over top, make it look like some wings and legs. Legs out one side, wings out the other, kind of propelling itself through the water. Focus. Focus. Oh, you got this? You got this? You got this? No. No. You got this? Yo, there we go. We got this. Oh, snap. There we go. We're gonna pop those on there. Just like this. Rattlesnake custom rods. Yeah. You asked on my previous video if turning the feathers forwards increased the pulsate in the water. Yo, man, that lure was off the chain. I got a whole bunch of crazy designs that I want to do with that pattern, unfortunately, because this lure was going through the mail. I could not do like the actual design that I wanted to, because I knew that the feathers would break and bend in a way that it wouldn't fit through the mail slot. So as you can see here, the feet and the wings kind of run in the same sort of direction, so that when this folds down, it'll fit through the mail slot in an envelope. But these have a good tension. They will definitely be sticking up over top of everything else on the body as it pulls through. Not so much as the legs, but these wings will definitely be popping a lot more. Looking not too bad. Man, I'm really thinking we're gonna stick with this, the bird editions, or the bird collection. I'm thinking, man, I'm gonna be rocking like a cardinal, a blue jay, a loon. Man, who knows? We're gonna get crazy with it. We're gonna get crazy with it. It's definitely gonna be something that I'm gonna be doing a bunch of. So, Willie, man, you have the very first official bird edition. Yeah. I totally want to do some more lure giveaways in the future, so definitely stay tuned for that. You know how we do. I think I'll let everybody else or you guys decide when we'll pull that off. I ain't too picky on when that's gonna happen. So now let's get to the details of the serious part of the craziness of this episode. So I've gone in, put the red around inside to make his mouth, or the tongue area, and then I cut these 2 pieces of plastic, and then, you know, form them to look like 2 beaks, one slightly bigger than the other, which hopefully when it pulls through the water will give it almost a wobble. Now I've also, to get that thread on and hold everything tight, I had to heat up this pin and make an indented line around each piece of plastic that was the mouth. so that when it did, because they're pretty stiff, you know what I mean? I can't really use fragile material for this. So these are thick pieces, and to keep it bent around like that was definitely very difficult. So I had to put grooves in each end so when I pulled it around tight, it held everything in place. It was crazy intense. But I think what we've done here is pretty revolutionary. I looked into this before, I even had the idea of, how to actually put it together if anybody had done anything like this, and I looked hard and couldn't find anything. So I'm gonna stick with these baby birds and rodent additions and see what we can pull off here. So we got such a thin piece there. Made sure that we put the mouth on first so that when we apply this center collar piece, it all can glue together and hold as one full piece. I thought if I put the mouth on later on, it wouldn't hold and seal as proper since it's already attached now. As you can see, I wrapped everything in there and then applied a good amount because it absorbs into these poofy feathers a lot easier, the glue. So I applied a good amount in there just to make sure that it almost sealed up everything to the mouth. So the mouth has a lot of added strength just in case, it gets mangled and attacked. So we're gonna pop us some deer hair. Pop that collar, man. Pop that collar. We're gonna pop that deer hair as the last layer up to the mouth, and then probably wrap it up with some yellow thread. So we got this going on. We got this collar popped hard. I used some red thread. It was a totally different type of thread. It's really thick so that I could pull it extremely tight because the hair, to get that nice popped out look, you got to pull that stuff really tight, and it's hard to hold everything in place, and usually thin thread just breaks. So I switch over to some heavy duty thread for that, and we'll just go in and trim up that front piece. In the future, I'm thinking now I might leave something like that, but for this one, I thought a nice sleek, pulling through the water look would be a little bit better. So we trimmed it up nice to the mouth, added a tiny bit more glue all the way around again to get that really good hard seal to the mouth, make sure everything stays in place. Although the inside of the mouth is glued to his tongue, you just gotta overdoing it, I guess, making sure that, if Willie fishes the shit out of this, his mouth just doesn't pop off. Oh shit, Willie, man, you gotta tell me what goes down with this though. Oh. What are you saying? Snap, son. Oh fuck. Alright. This shit's bomb, yo. For real. It's so banging. So I just trimmed a little bit of the edges of his mouth. I added the yellow thread around, make everything tight and clean so you don't see the edges where it's joined. And the other thread. I just glued in the two eyes. You know what I mean? Make that shit pop. Make it pop. But these feathers have good resistance, like I said. Knowing how thick the stems are and what kind of resistance you're going to get through the water is pretty key. So if you want lots of resistance, make sure you're using a lot of the ends to centers as opposed, or the beginnings, sorry, and centers opposed to the ends. Because the ends are really flimsy. They'll just lie down once they get wet. So this is a banging ass bird lure. Bird edition. Willie, I hope you're stoked, man. I really like it. I hope you're happy. You were the lucky winner of the lure giveaway. Man, that shit was fun. Thank you, subscribers, big time, man. I had a few people tell me that they said that by doing a giveaway, that you would just get subscribers and then they would all boogie after the giveaway. Well, I only lost one subscriber after that. So I definitely owe a lot of thanks to you guys for staying tuned. Or maybe you're just too lazy to unsubscribe. Don't matter, man. I respect all of you who comment on my shit, watch my shit, just enjoy what I'm doing. Definitely lots of more birds to come. You can also stay tuned, because after this video, like I said, for y'all people that apparently, I understand not everybody has 20 minutes of their day to just chill out and watch how a lure comes together, but it'll be a new thing now. At the end of all my videos, I will do the 1-minute edition, which will be vulgar, to the point, and ridiculous in under a minute. So, not too bad. I hope you enjoyed this episode, Volume 8. I enjoyed making this lure, and it only makes me want to make a whole shitload of birds. So stay tuned, because I think the next one might be the loon or the blue jay. What up? Cha! Wow, another fucking lure. Bucktailing, same as hook, new blade, stupid weights and beads, wrapped up feathers, some more wrapped up feathers, some smalt, all gonna jam onto this stupid hook. Wow, look at that. It's nice and flat. Put some brown, jam it up, make it look pretty. Fuck. Trim it, glue it. Wow, isn't that pretty? No one gives a fuck. Add the next, more flowers, more feathers. Who cares? Put it on, put legs, leave a gap for some water. Wow. Wrap another layer. Wow. Doesn't that look pretty? Choke them out. Wrap it tight. Stiff them. Stiff them. Give them wings. Why not? Hey, look, he can fly. No, maybe not. Power Rangers. Okay, choke them out. Oh, there we go. What's that? Is that a beak? Yep. Wrap it tight. Stick it with a pin. Yeah, okay, that looks good. More choking. Give him some life, color, pop that shit. Oh, there's an eyeball and a blade, and he's flying. All right, man. I hope you guys like that. Ah, shit, we're gonna keep that rolling. We're gonna keep it rolling. Stay tuned, man. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Willie, you're the man. I love all of you subscribers, you pimp sauce motherfuckers. Yeah, yeah. Another scripture out.